Head coach Cindy Griffin, Talia Brugler, and Mackenzie Smith. And as before, we will start with a opening statement from the head coach. Go to questions from the players, and then you will raise your hand and we'll get the mic to you. Cindy, anytime you're ready.
Thanks. Good to see you. I can't be more proud than this group, for this group. You come in here and the first game's always the hardest. You're playing against a really, really good Rhode Island team who we met a couple weeks ago. We knew scoring was going to be really tough against them. And we knew that we needed to maximize the time that we had and the possessions that we had. And definitely a game of runs. And then just being able to come back and just stay the course and just stay committed to what we do defensively and offensively. And then these guys stepping up and making great plays was terrific.
Questions for Talia or Mackenzie? Yeah, in the front row, either one. You can.
For both of you or either of you, what does it mean to get back to the semifinals for the first time since you were freshmen? Does it kind of feel like a full circle moment?
Yeah, it does feel like a full circle moment, especially because our freshman year we beat Rhode Island to get to the semifinals, and then they happened to knock us out last year, so we kind of entered with a bit of a chip on our shoulder, trying to enter into that same mentality that we had when we were freshmen coming into today.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Daniel Brady from A10 Talk Friday with you guys. You mentioned last year losing in the quarterfinals. You're down 6 with 2 minutes left in regulation, and it's got to look bleak. How do you guys find a way to get this game to overtime in the first place?
Good.
I think that there were a couple moments in our huddles on the floor where, we got a second chance opportunity, then a third chance, and then I think Talia was the one who was like, God doesn't give fourth chances, so let's execute on this one.
Yeah.
And we really took advantage of that, and I think we really bought into just playing with and for each other. That's kind of our slogan, and we want this for everyone on this part of this team. So just giving everything that we had in those moments.
Gentleman in the front here.
Chris Powell, Couch Coach Live. Congratulations on the win, Talia. You had a game high, 16 points. You made some key free throws at the end of the game. Just talk about your composure in that moment. What was just your mindset going to overtime?
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about just staying poised. We were taking a lot of deep breaths as a team in that overtime segment, especially in our huddles on the floor, just to stay composed and stay calm. And we've been there before. We've played in overtime games that were really close down the stretch, so we're really familiar with the environment.
Lady in the black, go ahead.
During the A10, you guys mentioned losing to Rhode Island last year in the quarters and then also dropping the only regular season matchup to them in the regular season. Just how did that kind of fuel you going into this game and then walking out with victory?
I think that we prepared really hard in the regular season for Rhode Island, and they kind of took that out from under us. So we knew that this was like a second chance opportunity for us to get that back, and we prepared just like we would prepare for any other game. We locked in on scout and made sure that we were doing the things that we had to do at our best of our abilities.
Natalie, the next, Talia, we could hear them chanting your name, and Daniel here took some photos where you can kind of see that you're at the center of all of the hugs and cheers. What does it mean to you to kind of have the team rally around you and be so excited, especially around you, but obviously for the team itself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. My teammates mean everything to me. We talked about what our whys were heading into this tournament, and a lot of them said the seniors. So I know that everything that we're doing is just for each other, and it was just a really exciting moment, and I can't wait to keep playing with them further in this tournament.
Finally, the players. This will be your third time seeing Richmond this season. The first 2 matchups didn't go the way you wanted to. What do you guys think is the key to turning it around this time around with Richmond?
I would say just taking away the 3 ball and guarding the 3 dribbles, and then just stepping into the game with a lot of confidence. They're a really good team, but we've played them twice. Like you said, we've had a lot of film against them. We've learned from those mistakes, and we're coming off a fresh loss against them, so we have a bit of a chip on our shoulder.
Any final questions for the girls? Ladies, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Go back to the locker room.
Good job.
And now we'll direct questions to Cindy, please. Right here.
Chris Powell, Coach Live. Congratulations on the win, Coach. Let's talk about as far as the 3-point, you had struggles from the three-point line today, but you also found success from the free throw line. So what was your thoughts on how you're able to adjust offensively and find different ways to score today?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you don't want to get enamored with the three ball. Our point today was just trying to get more paint touches, whether it be driving and kicking or getting the ball inside to our post. And I thought we did a really good job of that. I thought our guards really handled the ball really well in those situations and were able to make plays when we needed to down the stretch. And you saw us getting into the shot clock, the late shot clock a couple times, and I thought we came out of that, probably 50-50, an area that we definitely need to grow from quickly. But really happy with the way that we drew fouls today.
Yes, lady in the second row right there next to you.
Hi, Amanda from the A10. Just how did you turn to your veteran leadership there late in the fourth quarter? You guys are down by 6 points, forced overtime, and then for Smith and Rhode to do that well at the free throw line. What do you see from them there?
Yeah, I mean, they're very good players. They're all conference players for a reason. I think Talia has had an up and down season because of injuries and, hasn't played her best basketball yet. And I think today was good, but I think it's still going to continue to get better. So it was just nice to see her get going a little bit. And put a lot of pressure on the defense. And then, Mac's ability to be able to move without the ball and to put herself in a situation where she can create for herself and for her teammates. She's a first-team all-conference player for a reason. And, but I'm really proud of the way the other kids stepped up today. You had Gabby Casey do some really good stuff. Paula Marina came in and gave us some good minutes. Emma Boslett handled the ball like a champ. Leah came in and gave us some great defense, and Lara had some key rebounds down the stretch, which were phenomenal.
In the front row, yes, ma'am.
Natalie Hubbard with the Next. Can you just talk about what the messaging was around rebounding? I don't remember the exact margin, but nearly 20, right around there. Just really controlling boards.
Yeah, I mean, Rhode Island isn't a high efficient offensive production as far as they only average about 61 points a game, but they certainly get to the glass and they certainly get multiple opportunities and they work really, really hard at those opportunities. So we knew if we took away their primary options, we just couldn't give them second shots and playing backboard basketball. So thought we did a really good job of that. And we knew it was just going to be a really tight game possession-wise because their defense is really good and our defense is really good. So it was just a game of inches really down the stretch.
Any other questions for Coach Griffin?
All right,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
We'll let you go.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yep. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
We'll do again. Coach, if you'll give us an opening statement, we could take some questions for Sophia, and then we'll let her go.
Sure thing. Well, first and foremost, I'd be a disappointment if it wasn't a drag-out war between St. Joe's and Rhode Island, and I just give credit to St. Joe's. I thought at the end they gutted it out and came up with the big plays, a little bit more tougher at the end, especially when it comes to rebounding and no boards, where we got our stops, but we couldn't come up and we couldn't finish the play with some big key rebounds. So credit to them, and again, just really, really proud of my squad of, resetting for the second season and coming down here and competing. They did exactly what we asked them to do, show up and fight and give it your all, and that's what we did for the past 2 days. And so, unfortunately, we just couldn't finish through with some of our game goals that really win ball games. And so, we got to learn from that.
Questions for Sophia? Raise your hand. Yes. Lady in the front row again.
Not only covering with the next, can you just talk about what over the course of the season was either like a highlight for you or like the biggest, what some might consider like a small win, but the biggest of the small wins, if that makes sense.
I think when I had my first start against Harvard, that was a big thing for me because like me and Inez, we compete every day in practice, and I really believe that I earned that spot. So that was definitely a highlight moment for me from the whole season.
Gentleman in the front row.
Bob Flynn, coming for the Providence Journal. In the first game, you guys had a strong fourth quarter to rally and win, and you had another strong fourth quarter here. Did you lean on that past experience, knowing that, hey, we're okay, even though we're behind going into the fourth? You had 17 points in the fourth quarter this time and 18 against them.
Sophia,
That's for you.
Yeah, I think we just in the fourth quarter in general is probably one of our best quarters. Especially when we're down, we really like to fight it through and get back into the game. So just the fourth quarter being our best in general and just really fighting and believing in each other. We always believe in each other. Even when we're down, we continue to fight.
Questions for, yes, Sophia, right here in the second row.
Amanda from the A-10, you just mentioned that the fourth quarter, you guys have been very efficient. What has made that fourth quarter so effective for you guys, especially, kind of coming back there, having to force overtime, but still being able to compete in that last quarter?
I think it's just our mentality. We're all really competitive and we all really want to win. So when it comes to the fourth quarter, we have 10 minutes left. We need to be the best that we can, play the best that we can, and just fight through to the end because we're all super competitive.
Other questions for Sophia? No? Thank you very much. We'll let you go back to the locker room.
Thank you.
Now we'll take questions for Coach Reese, please. Yes, gentleman in the front row again here.
Yesterday, you talked about three keys. One would be rebounding.
Defending the big three.
Yeah, and you kind of held them to 38. That's not bad for an overtime game. You didn't score as much as you wanted. I think you were hoping to have 3 or 4 people in double figures. And rebounds, you didn't do well there. Yet you still had a chance to win in regulation and overtime.
Sometimes, gut and playing hard and competing can override, your game goals. Sometimes you just find a way to get it done and be able to be in a game and compete. And I think the makeup of our team is like that. We know we're going to have to play hard a lot of times against the better teams in the conference to win. And so I never doubt that they're going to come and they're going to compete and they're going to find a way to make it a game. But again, you cannot give up 19 no boards. And when we're fighting at the end and we're playing good defense and we're getting stops, and then they come up with that 1-0 board and then they score off it, they hit a 3 or they get to the foul line. And it happened numerous times when there was a minute and I think 25 seconds. You got to come up with that, rebound. You have to. And that puts the game away. And so rebounding is always a key at the end of the game, especially you can't defend that hard, and we defend it hard. And then we give back the possession back, and eventually you're going to crack, and you foul, and you put them on the free throw line. But you know, you got to make free throws at the end of the game, and you got to rebound. And, you know, unfortunately, we missed those 2 free throws to go up 3. And, you know, Inez is heartbroken. You know, the kid is tearing herself up. But you got to close out games. You got to do the little things. And at the end of regulation, we had a chance to do it, and we couldn't get it done. But it wasn't from a lack of effort, that's for sure.
Gentleman in the striped shirt.
Dana Frank, Talk. How you doing, Tammy?
Good.
You guys had 2 chances there at the end. I'm curious each time what you drew up in those huddles there.
Well, the first time we were trying to get the ball in, we were going to punch it, line Las Vegas, and we were going to punch it in the Honey and let her go to work and play off the ball. And then the second time, it was, again, an over-the-top misdirection to Honey. AD just didn't want to, she didn't throw it. Honey was open, and then we were going to end screens for Sophie P to come out and get that shot. But AD threw it right to Inez, and Inez, then you got to penetrate and play off the ball and get a 3 up, and we didn't do that. So initially the play broke at the last play of the game was broken as soon as AD didn't let it fly. But that's what we're looking for, over the top, and then the misdirection, and get Sophie P coming back to the ball, you know, our best 3-point shooter, and get a shot off.
Lady next, go ahead.
Not only covering with the next, you know, kind of wish Big Soph was still here to hear the answer to this, but, you know, can you just talk about her and the effort she put in today? Felt like every loose ball there was, she was diving on the floor, trying to get that jump ball called. You know, can you just talk about her effort?
You know, Soph had 5 steals today. I mean, she was just a ball hawk, a dog, great ball pressure. What we needed her to do, apply that pressure so they couldn't pick us apart with the big 3. So, you know, that's little Soph, but a big heart. And that's what she is. And she gave us all she had today from that respect. And again, you know, if you can't score, you miss a shot, what else can you do to make up for that? That's how you put a lot of little things together to stay in the game. And Soph would come up with a loose ball or dive on the floor, get a deflection. And, you know, really proud of how hard she played today and how hard she competed.
Any final questions? Another one, just right here. Same lady.
You know, similar to what I asked Sophia earlier, you know, what is for you the biggest little win of the season?
I'd have to say the St. Joe's win at home was big. It was our first big win of someone ahead of us. We hadn't beaten a really good opponent yet. You know, we've won games we're supposed to win, but we had never won a game that, hey, they're good. They're on the bubble, they're a good team, and we put it all together. And that's the first time I think they collectively looked at each other and said, hey, if we do these things, we can win. We can compete with anybody. And it's also the first time we closed out a big win game at the end. Got stops, got scores. And so that kind of helped us for the rest of the season, I think, have a little confidence at the end of games that we could get stops and score, and then prepared us for the tournament for this, you know, battling at the end against a great team that, again, is on the bubble for the NCAA. So for me, it was that when we finally put it together for 40 minutes, and as a player, you saw in their eyes like light bulb, ding, ding, ding went on. We can compete, we can win. And so for me, it was the St. Joe's game at home.
Any other questions? Coach, thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Great season. Thank you.